and we lost a iconic player and someone who I remember vividly when he broke onto the scene. I was in high school, but Fernando Valenzuela at age 63 passed away. Mm-hmm. And we don't know the cause of death. I will say this to you, Kelvin.
I think we're going to say the same thing.
I saw him.
Yeah.
About near the end of the season when they said he was going to cut back. Remember they announced that he wasn't going to be involved to do the games. He does a Spanish language broadcast for the Dodgers, as on radio. And I saw him and I said to myself, he does not look good to me. And you know what I mean? And Monty, you work out there too. Anybody who had seen him knew that it just wasn't good. He's very gaunt, thin, and I was like, man.
Mean, to be honest with you, Rob, so, obviously, as you mentioned, I work in the same building with the Dodgers television network, SNLA, Sportsnet LA, and he'd come in periodically, and you kind of keep to yourself, don't want to say anything.
Sure,
but
that's not your place.
Not my business, and to be honest, too, anyway, I'll just leave it alone. You just was wondering, maybe he's trying to get better health, maybe lose some weight. But, as I've seen him over the last couple of years, it was like, okay, my thought was something isn't right, but you're stay hopeful. I heard Dusty Baker talking about it today. They had him on as they were paying homage to him. And he had mentioned that he saw him and people were kind of telling him, hey, just, he doesn't like to talk about it. Just kind of converse with him like you normally do, have a good time. He doesn't want to necessarily talk about that. And so, there were a lot of folks who had quietly been concerned for a Dodger legend, City of LA legend, obviously a Mexican legend as well.
Oh, God. I mean, god in Mexico.
Iconic for sure.
Okay. And let me tell you, I've been covering sports for a long time, but not long enough to have covered him in his prime or in 1981. I was in high school, right? And I remember Fernando Mania. Like for real. Like when people talk about it, I remember it very vividly. Because I was in high school. In 1981, the Mets were awful. Terrible team. That was my team growing up. I would get my $5 to, take the train, the number 7 train to Shea Stadium, go to the game. I'm not lying to you. Back in those days, $5 got you a bleacher seat, a hot dog, a drink.
What a time to be alive.
Ready? A drink, a scorecard, and car fare, you know what I mean? Bus and train to get to the ball. And you would have 50 cents left over. No lie. It used to cost $4.50. I just told you all the stuff you could go and have, right? So, Fernando, back, the Dodgers didn't come to New York that often. They come for one road trip, right? They come to New York one time a year, 3-game series pitching. Mets are averaging 8,000 or 10,000 people per game. They sold out the game. Do you hear me?
Right.
Like this bad team got a sellout crowd because Fernando was pitching. That's when people used to, when you would go for the pitcher. Who's pitching today? What? Tom Seaver, whatever, Fernando. Oh, no, I'm going. Jim Palmer. Oh, no, I'm going to that game. So anyway, it was very vivid in my mind. And when you think about what he was able to accomplish in his career, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, man, I'll start as somebody who's not from here, who's been out here now for, almost 15 years in Los Angeles, but also a sports fan. You started to see the Fernando Valenzuela, they would honor him. He'd pop up maybe during a postseason game. Hey, remember that time when, and I was like, yeah, I know him. I know the story. That's great. But then moving here, living where there are so many Mexican and Mexican-American folks, so many folks who remember growing up or what it was like, so many who felt underrepresented, even though the population here in the greater Southern California area is, predominantly or at least largely Mexican-American, but maybe not feeling that, especially when they watch their baseball. And to have somebody that they can identify, have somebody that can say, he's one of us, have someone, remember, the Dodgers had a really rough relationship with the locals here because of where they built Chavez Ravine and where they built Dodger Stadium. There was friction there, the way they kind of took that area over and just kind of moved people out. So there was a lot of friction within the Mexican-American community here. And so they were trying to bridge that relationship, and they needed somebody who could be, as they said, our Mexican Sandy Koufax. And they found that guy in Fernando Valenzuela. Now, just because you find him doesn't mean that person's going to live up to the talent-wise. And he did. He did. He embraced it. And sometimes, Rob, that's what makes sports great, as being the real reality TV, if you will, the only real reality TV where you just don't know what's going to happen. You got this Mexican pitcher playing for an iconic franchise in the Dodger in an area that needed it most at a time where they're trying to still build relationships and bridge the relationships. He comes, he's a star, and he's a star right off the bat. He creates this mania. And to me, it reminds me, there's other times where this happens, like, I think of Jeremy Lin, what he meant for the Asian community to have, wow, we have someone in the NBA that's balling, that's doing his thing, and we can point to, our kids can say, wow, I want to do that. And so it's Tiger Woods, what he did for golf, where a lot of young black players and other players, but a lot of young black kids were like, wow, you know what? I want to play golf.
Unfortunately, nobody came out of that.
That is true.
That's the most unbelievable thing to me.
We could do a whole segment on that for another day,
that's
for
the
sure.
Most unbelievable.
Well, I have a response to that.
But we'll
I
do
think
that.
you're absolutely, that's another way. But I think that's what it meant for an area like Los Angeles. It would have been amazing if he was in Minneapolis. It would have been amazing if he were with the Cleveland Indians at the time, but the Guardians now.
Right.
But it was where it happened.
No, perfectly.
That's what makes stories great, man. Is sometimes when you get that perfect match of the person, the time, the place, and the talent.
And then for people who don't know, and really, I mean, the dude, Fernando, was Rookie of the Year, Cy Young.
That's crazy.
And helped the Dodgers win a World Series in 1981. That's
crazy.
MLB Network showing the highlights and the games from 81 or whatever back then. Dusty Baker, this is how long ago. Dusty Baker was playing for the Dodgers. He was an outfielder.
Teammate,
Right. He was a young guy that playing for the Dodgers back then. That's how long ago it was. You look at Dusty now as an elder statesman, a retired manager, 70-some-odd years old. But my point is, that is how great he was to win Rookie of the Year, Cy Young, and then help the team win a World Series. And I'm going to say this to you. And this is not prisoner of the moment, and I'm making it hyperbole because of his death and just trying to say the nicest things about him. How is that not the greatest rookie season by anybody? I'm in sports. I would love to hear, like we talked about last year, Wemby, right? Oh, look at what Wemby did in the no. They only won 17 games. You know what I mean? Like they didn't transform into some winner or to be a rookie. Rookie of the Year's a given. Cy Young. Okay, that's what every pitcher in the league. And then to be that big of a impact so that the Dodgers win the World Series in 1981. Somebody would have to help me. I have somebody
that I'll throw at you. I'll throw it at you now, actually. And then we're also 877-99 on Fox. You can get some calls, too, if you want to just, show your love
appreciation for Fernando. But we also, we also want to hear about
just amazing that rookie campaign. You know who else had an amazing one in the same city? Magic Johnson. I mean, you talk about coming out of a college championship thinking, all right, he was really good, and, we'll see how it works out in the league. And you come in and you ball. You start a thing called Showtime. You win Rookie of the Year. Or didn't matter. Actually, I think Larry Bird won Rookie of the Year, if I'm not mistaken.
I was going to say, he didn't
Larry
even
Bird.
win. That's what.
But he balls out right there in contention for Rookie of the Year. Go to the finals. You got Kareem goes out, Game 6. You put up that iconic game with 42, 15, and 8 or whatever it was. You win in Finals MVP. I'm not saying it's better, but I'm just trying to throw out other options. I think Magic's up there. I think that Magic
the idea that he didn't win
crazy.
It is, but he didn't win the Rookie of the Year, which is the part that hurts Magic's argument, right? Because even though tremendous, everything you said is 100% spot on, and he won. Bird didn't win a championship. Magic won it.
Right.
So 877-99 on Fox.
Too.
Rob G, you got any?
What about your guy, Dwight Gooden?
Yeah, no, Dwight was Rookie of the Year. He didn't win a Cy Young that year because he only won 17 games. He won Cy Young the next year, but not the first year.
Yeah, it's just funny to hear you say he only won 17 games.
No, I know. And he was a kid. Dwight
Dub
Gooden
ain't
was
lying when he said you hate greatness.
No,
He only won 17 games, guys.
That man hates greatness. I don't know what it is.
Nah, I got two.
Okay, yeah.
In football, in the NFL, friend of the show, Eric Dickerson.
Yep.
I was looking at
ED.
that 18 touchdowns, 1,800 yards. That's insane.
Rookie of the year, second in the MVP as a rookie. And then the other one, and Dub, you kind of alluded to it. It doesn't seem that way because we don't think of golf as seasons. Tiger Woods, in his first year on tour, breaks the Masters record and becomes the fastest player ever to reach number one, which he held for like a decade plus. Like, to be that dominant right out of the gate is...
He cost me my marriage.
How did Tiger Woods cost you your marriage? What in the world?
He cost me my marriage. I mean, we went on our honeymoon to Japan, and my wife and I sitting on the edge of the bed watching him compete in the Masters. And, we didn't get a chance to really,
consummate.
Yes, consummate the wedding.
I was just
the
locked
marriage.
in.
Hold on, man. You were worried about the wrong 9-iron, bro.
I know.
You're
Hey.
supposed to be worried about your 9-iron.
I hit it so
What
good
we
today.
doing?
It was fun.
You was worried, Rob G. That man worried about the wrong club.
Hey.
You're supposed to worry about your own club, player.
Hey,
I'm so mad at you.
Who got
right
a better,
now.
who got a better up and down
that.
game, Rob? Tiger or you?
Hey,
I did pull out.
I did.
Thanks,
Man,
Tiger.
there you go. You was missing out on the back nine.
And I did
because
hit, I did hit it in the bush, though, a few times, but that was just...
I don't know if you. I don't believe you.
Hey,
I don't believe you. I think you was out of bounds. Is what I think. I think you missed your tea time.
Rubbed it in their face big time. No, but I'm
so
not
mad
kidding you.
at you.
We watched my wife and I. There's no lie. I'm dead serious. Because it was so amazing. You remember that. He destroyed the field.
That's a great.
And
That's
it was,
a great.
and
It's
it was history making, and we sat on our bed and watched and watch him win the Masters.